Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's about 6:35. I went to bed about 10:30 and was up at 3, dragging. Sure want to stay in bed. And so I got up, fed the dogs, did some reading, and then I was hustling and making a deadline. Going to get to the job site at 6 o'clock. Carla's going to show up then. And didn't quite have enough time to go and walk the dogs. And I thought about it, and it's like, they totally depend on you for their well-being in life and welfare and lifestyle, so to speak. And as I'm sitting there thinking about it, it's been about 4 or 5 months since I've taken my walk. And normally in the past, I had been walking, I think it's 1.5 miles each morning, about 1.75 miles, somewhere in there. And, this morning I just said, you know what? I'm going to be late. That's all there is to it. She's going to show up first before me. The whole reason that I do this thing, financial independence, getting passive income, is freedom. If I could get my freedom with owning, having 1,000 goats every month, or selling goat, or, I guess you could get it by being a goat dealer. But I know nothing about goats, and I'm not passionate about goats, so that wouldn't work for me. But you kind of understand. If it was owning marbles or having carrots or, books, and I love books, but you've never heard somebody say the one with the most books wins, or the one that dies with the most books. But the whole thing is that, having money buys my freedom. And so it was like yesterday I spent 45 minutes ironing some clothes and everything, and I'm like, it would be great to pay somebody else to be doing this thing. And I had been, and unfortunately she went and got a steady job, and so I have to find another housekeeper. And that's always a process to go through. And, it seems like in that industry, it's rare to come across somebody that treats that business like a business. And I had a housekeeper for a number of years, and the thing that separated her from everybody else is that she had a checklist, and she'd go down that checklist every day, write it down, and check it off when she did it. And so I got the same product every time. Now, when you go to Olive Garden in Tampa, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and you ask and you want the salad, you always get the same salad dressing because it's consistent. They've got a recipe that the whole restaurant worldwide uses. And what does that do? That builds our trust because of the consistency. Now, every other house cleaner, and I've gone through many of them, has always said, oh, I've got a routine that I follow, and I do this and I do that, and that sounds real good. A couple things with that is this. The frame of mind that they tell you this in is, generally speaking, one of abundance. They're anticipating getting another job, making more money, making somebody happy, fulfilling a need, doing something they enjoy. So guess what? Our mood is elevated. Well, what happens when the kid gets suspended from school and then you're having to go and do this job? What happens when your partner is sick? What happens when we go to do this job? What happens if our partner cheated on us and we found out about it and we're going to do this job? Do you think they're going to be in the same mood as when they first came and interviewed with you? No. Okay. Humans, we're susceptible to emotional roller coaster at any given moment, depending on what the circumstance is. Therefore, a lot of times our performance will be indicative of where our emotions are at, so to speak. And the thing about the checklist has no emotions whatsoever. And whether you've been cheated on, just won the lottery, kid just got suspended, you just got made aware that you're going to be a grandparent, Doesn't matter. The checklist is still the same. It doesn't shrink or contract, having to do with outside things that happen and things that get said. And so the thing is that when we're able to get control of our emotions and the way that we react to things, we're much better suited for success, because everything that keeps us from being successful only comes down to two things, and that's our ego and our emotions. And so I'm just giving you that because today what I did was I said, you know what, screw it. It doesn't matter if I'm on time or not. And in the big picture, it would totally suck to, get to a position, never having to look at price tags, having enough money to go and do whatever I want, whenever I want, but I can't get out of a wheelchair because I'm overweight. I can't walk because my ankles are swollen because I'm overweight. It won't matter. And I'm not that, if anything, I probably need, 15 or 20 pounds to drop. I would feel much better. And the thing is that the reason I bring all this up is that putting ourselves first is absolutely critical, because if we don't do that, it will never happen. And we do that in a number of ways: by the way we keep our house, by the food that we eat, by the people that we associate with, and staying active and healthy. Health is truly the number one wealth. I'd probably say relationships second and then money third, okay? But if I can't physically travel to go see my mom, then I don't get to enjoy her. And, we all have these, or I know I have these thoughts of what is it that I'm going to do when I retire? And I plan on being pretty much semi-retired more than halfway July of next year. Got 5 properties to get done, and we should have those done in that time frame. And that's what I'll start working towards and on, so to speak. So then the situation becomes what exactly is it that we're looking at, And I also encourage you to make sure that you check and put a lot of thought into your retirement as far as how much do you really need, okay? And the majority of people I talk to, they're, "Oh, you mean, man? This looks like they're doing heroin. They got drool coming out their mouth and this blank stare because they never even thought about it." And it's like, oh yeah, you better, because a lot of times once you retire, your income is, for the most part, seems to be cut in half. Now, ideally, the thing is that, you would hope that by the time, if you're traditional retiring, we'll say between the ages of 65 and 70, that the house is paid off and you got a car that's paid off. And so those are going to alleviate 2 pretty significant expenses right there. However, if not, well, guess what? You're going to have to pay those, okay? Generally speaking, any house that I would like to live in any neighborhood that I'd live in, you're probably a minimum, I'd be looking at about $1,800, okay? And I am looking at new trucks. And so my payment on a new vehicle that's going to work for me, I want a long bed crew cab, 4-wheel drive, gas burner, probably going to go with the Ford 6.8. It's got the horsepower and it's got the torque. I looked at the Chevy 6.6 gas burner, and it's got less horsepower but the same torque, but it's about $4,000 to $6,000 more for the comparable model that I'm looking for. So then you're in a situation where, okay, so, house payment and that truck payment with insurance and everything, that's about $2,400 a month. And so you figure, and just look at it on your own personal, well, what expenses am I going to have? And then ask yourself, how much money do you want left over every week to be able to spend? You want to go for crab legs. I love crab legs. Okay. You want to go and do that. Do you want to go travel, and how much is that traveling going to cost? How frequently are you going to do that? All of these things are questions you need to be asked. What are you going to do for healthcare? Most of the time, if you're at a job and you leave and, you got to wait a few years till you get Medicaid, then you're looking at having to do COBRA. And COBRA, the cheapest I've heard of is like $400, and the most I heard was $1,400. So now you got this expense for paying for insurance. You know, and now you start looking at it and everything, and it's like retirement costs $4,000 a month. You know, that's $48,000 a year. That is that will be pre-tax dollars. So that $48,000 really needs to be about $62,000 to $65,000. Do you have $65,000 a year coming in once you retire? What will your retirement look like? How much will you have coming in? And then a lot of people are like, oh shit, I never even thought about that. You should. You really should. You should look at it and say, how much do I really need coming in? Because generally speaking, most everybody I talk to, and you know, I know people that have really nice homes, that dress nice, you know, but I don't know anybody. I do superficially know some people with supercars, you know, Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches, things of that nature, but I don't know anybody that's got a collection of them. And so it's not like the majority of people I'm running around with have real extravagant taste. So most of the people that I'm associated with are saying, you know, generally speaking, I got to have $100,000 a year to come in to have a semi-decent lifestyle. And that'll give you a chance to go get a couple massages, crab legs, steak dinners during the, you know, month. And then if you want to take a trip every month, you know, a week trip or every 60 days, you'll have the money to be able to do that. But past that, there ain't a whole bunch left over. And most people never even think about that, you know. And the biggest thing, though, is that as time goes on and you get up in age, you're going to want to slow down. And, you know, it's a horrible thought to think that, you know, I put in 30, 40, 50 years of my life to something, made them all this money, and now I'm retired and I can't go and do. I can't enjoy my grandkids. I can't enjoy my dogs. I can't ride the motorcycle again. I can't do this. I can't do that because I didn't take care of myself, you know. And all I'm asking you to do, folks, is just start making some small, subtle changes. Don't run out and, you know, get a membership to the gym or hire, you know, professional trainer right off the bat and everything. But just go out and start walking half a mile a day. You know, do it in the morning, get your day cranked up and moving and everything like that. It makes a huge difference, okay? If you look at, it's very difficult to find extremely successful people that are grossly overweight. There's a correlation between being physically fit, being ripped, being jacked, and being successful, okay? Because they incorporate the same thing that it takes to get six-pack abs is the same thing that it takes to become a multimillionaire. Focus, discipline, consistency. That's it. Those three. You want a magic bullet? There ain't one. You're going to have to fucking grind. You're going to have to fucking work. You're going to have to fucking say no. No to the ice cream. No to overspending. No to the Louis Vuitton purse. No to the lift kit for the four-wheel drive. You're going to just have to say no. You know, you're going to have to say no for a long time. You know, it was, I'm 53, I think I was 50 when I bought my first new vehicle. Up until then, I'd always bought used. So I didn't take the big depreciation hits. They were cheaper, all those kind of things, you know. Now I'm in a position that, you know, I want something brand new. I'm going to get it. So hope you have a very wonderful day. If you want 15 minutes of my time, send me an email. It's in the description. Include your phone number. I'll give you a call. If you're interested in mentoring, I do that with people as well. 12 weeks, it's $3,600. Probably the number one, and if you don't want to go with me, that's fine, okay? I'm just saying this, that if I knew what I knew today 22 years ago, that would have been the first thing I did was get a mentor, because the trajectory that my mentors have gotten me on, and, you know, and it's like, there's a couple things with that is that, you know, just an example, you get me to be a mentor, you get 22 years of my experience, you get 22 years of somebody doing construction, you get 22 years of somebody doing real estate, okay? You get 22 years of somebody buying houses at ridiculously low prices. I bought a house for $5,000, okay? They pay $1,250 a month, so you do the math on that return, yeah, pretty damn good. And then you also get all my contacts, you know, and so these are things that you need to think about. And a lot of times, you know, it's it might not be the best to do somebody or, you know, to have a mentor that's out of state. You know, it'd be great if you can find somebody that's local, that's doing what you want to be doing, that, you know, you basically want to walk in their footsteps, emulate what it is that they're doing and everything. You know, and that's huge. It really is. And the thing about it is that so, you know, and if you're a hustler, you're narcissistic to a certain degree. You know, you got some of an ego because you have said, hey, I can do this myself. You know, I can survive. And that's great, okay? The most successful people that I've seen and met and that I want to trade places with, they all have coaches. They all have mentors, okay? And all it is you're just fast tracking. It's like, you know, instead of taking 22 years to get where I'm at, you know, you could probably get where I'm at in 2 years. You know, just do the things that I do and don't do, you know, and then stay away from the things that I didn't do, you know. It's just one of those things. And, you know, I highly, highly recommend finding that. You know, so many people, they get on a fitness kick and they get them a trainer and everything. And if you sit there and do it yourself and then watch the person with the trainer, that person with the trainer is, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10 in much better shape in a shorter amount of time than the person that goes it alone. I hope you have a fantastic day.